Let your body take control. You're on my mind, baby. Just move a little closer. And I say, oh, it's a night we'll both remember. Oh, sweet surrender. Oh, we're moving close together. Wanna make your body mine through the night. Hot and sweet through the night. Let's get out, fast and slow. I wanna get to know you. I know a place where we can go. It's just around the corner. And I say, oh, it's a night we'll both remember. Oh, sweet surrender. Oh, we're moving close together. Wanna make your body mine. And I say, oh, it's a night we'll both remember. Oh, sweet surrender. Oh, we're moving close together. Wanna make your body mine through the night. Ooh, ooh, yeah, baby. I wanna make your body mine.
Monday. How you doing, everybody? It's Monday. Hope you had a nice weekend. I certainly did, except, we did our trail stop stream on Saturday. Had a great time, met a couple new people, got a couple new subscribers even in the bar while we were there. And then somehow I was trying to delete there was a parallel stream that I was trying to get rid of, and I accidentally deleted the actual trail stop stream. But we had a lot of fun, and those of you who were there, thanks for dropping in. It was a blast. Very random. We talk a lot of different things. I gave you the problem of the day, which is up on my YouTube community tab, where you go in there and I can write messages to you. If you haven't answered that question, I'll probably put it in the Discord server too. But if you can answer that question I'm just curious how different people come up with different answers to a question that doesn't necessarily have, if you like, for example, if you're an accountant, you probably have a lot more questions, but I want you to keep it simple. I want you to think of it as a very simple question and take the most just direct answer based on the information I gave you. So that is up on my community tab on the Dawg Knight channel. And again, I have it out on Twitter too, and a couple other places. I'm getting some interesting answers, and most of them are very similar, but it's an exercise for someone that I know. So anyway, and we'll get through a lot of news today. I got lots of tabs open like I always do, and we'll do that right after the intro. Johnny, where's he at? There he is. Play the intro, please. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight.
And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It's Monday, the 24th of May, 2021. It's Memorial Day weekend's next weekend. We get an extra day on our weekend. So for Lady Boomer and I, it means an extra day of Bloody Marys. But anyway, and also, this is the 596th episode of the Morning Night Live. If you didn't know, I did a makeup show on Saturday, short and sweet, but got that one made up. So I'm back on track to have my 600th episode this coming Friday. So I'm pretty enthused about that. Hopefully I'm going to try to get a couple special guests that I've been trying to get on for a while, just to chit chat with them and have them join me for a while, and we'll have some fun on that show, and that'll be that. And then Saturday we will likely do another trail stop stream, me and Lady Boomer, and but the rest of the week will just be our regular news show like today. And so we need to get caught up from the weekend, but before we do that, let's say good morning to everybody. So today, first in the chat, my favorite. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, whoa. I don't have all my equipment out. What the heck am I doing? I already did that at least. Good. I did reset the stream labels. Good. And I do need one other item though. It's kind of annoying that I didn't do this. Hang on. 1 second, please. Because, when you produce the show yourself, sometimes you just forget things. And then sometimes as you get older, you forget things too. All right, there we go. First in the chat today, my favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony, and you get the bell, sir. Oh, that was pretty weak. What the hell? Oh, is that just my mic's not up? Maybe that's me. Let's try that again. Oh, it's just fine. That was just me. And also, good morning, Zach Osborne. Can't stop watching the Chinese Marslander video. You know what? When I saw that, I went out and searching for the video, and I went to the Discord and I couldn't find it there. I'm not sure. Wonder what tab did you put that, Zach? Out of curiosity. And because you say it's hilarious. I got to see it now. Anyway, good morning, Random American. What's happening? Good morning, also Gunfox61, the ever-present administrator of the Dawg Knight Channel Discord server. Also, good morning too. Oh wow, you guys been on here a while. All right, there we go. There's some other people. And I just went way too far. Okay, there we go. Also, good morning. Attack Alpaca, how you doing? Wikipedia snippet, what's going on? Let's see. Fox P2, good morning. Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate. Tarai Deos, hi. Also, Renee Mayette, what's up? Jonathan Peterson. And let's see. People's Front of Canada, what's happening? I don't know how that goes. Anyway, I'm trying to sing what Jaeger Pony put on there, and I'll eventually figure out what the song was. Also, good morning, Ost San. Good morning, Richo, my friend from down under. Nice to see you back. And says your life's busy. Well, you gotta do the life thing, and if you can make it here, that's fantastic too. Also, good morning, Select Boy. Yeah, boy. Also, good morning. Let's see, the pissed off Shih Tzu. Do not piss off the Shih Tzu. That's dangerous stuff. Good morning, Jim Beam. Also legit low talker, and that's everyone who's in the chat so far. Oh, Paul Farrell, I almost skipped you there. Sorry about that. Hello to you too, and if I missed you, I'll find you eventually. I think we're doing good though so far. 27 people in the 24 people there. Well, anyway, during the show, if you like what we do, there's a little like button down there, the little thumbs up thing, and if you let's see, share the stream. That's the big one that helps me the most. And then if you want to be a sponsor of the show, obviously super chats and or Streamlabs, the links will be in the chat and the description down below. And I think that's the whole thing. And if you're watching on a replay, throw a comment in the comment section. All right, let's get into it, because I'm gonna try to get through a whole bunch of stuff. Plus, I have a bunch of bookmarks on Twitter that I wanted to go through too. In fact, let's see. Well, let's do the main story today, which is, can I get a lift? Because and I don't know what it is with the state of California right now, trying to, what's the word? Destroy. It almost seems like they're trying to destroy certain types of professions or people who do certain types of things. And right now, they seem to have a war on Uber and Lyft. First, they had that one law that was causing all sorts of problems that got overturned by vote of the people. And now they have a new mandate. Okay, they have a new mandate they've voted into law, which I missed this last week. So I'm just, you may have heard about this already, but I had not. Uber and Lyft get an EV mandate from the state of California, meaning electric vehicle. California's clean air regulator on Thursday adopted rules to mandate nearly all trips on Uber and Lyft's ride-hailing platforms have to be in electric vehicles over the next few years, the first such regulation by a U.S. state. This is nuts. In written comments to the agency ahead of Thursday's vote, Uber and Lyft said they support the regulation goals, but called for more government aid to aid their many lower and middle income drivers with the cost for the transition. Now, this is a problem when you have the woke leading the woke. So they're going to try to force all Uber and Lyft drivers to have electric vehicles and I'm not sure what the time frame here is. Uber themselves had set a goal, I think, of 2035. You know, that gives people 15 years to do that. But it's like, are they forcing all people who do any kind of driving to do, like buses and taxis and everything? They're making this rule for Uber and Lyft. Now, you know how expensive electric vehicles are. They tend to be about, between 10 and 30% more well, 10 to 50% more than a regular, combustion engine vehicle, at least right now. And also the problem is, the more you force these electric vehicles, it's not like they're electric trees, right? That you just go and plug into a tree and you can fill your vehicle. You got to get electricity from somewhere. And right now, a lot of that's, coal-fired plants. And it'd be great if we had more nuclear plants, more hydrogen plants. But they haven't really figured out how to make the hydrogen plants work. But they don't want more nuclear plants because the stigma behind nuclear energy from, several high-profile events in the past. Where are they planning on getting all the electricity? Remember, this is California, the land of rolling blackouts, because the governor has issues, right? And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Anyway, so the rules adopted through a unanimous vote by the California Air Resources Board, CARB. Oh, isn't that cute? Mandate that EVs account for 90% of ride-hailing vehicles miles traveled by 2030. Now that is a lesser goal than the companies themselves set. Both Uber and Lyft last year committed to converting their U.S. fleets entirely to EVs by that year, but the company said achieving those goals is unrealistic without adding government subsidies. So now they're going to ask the government to subsidize. They're going to ask the government to subsidize people who are basically independent contractors with Uber and Lyft. That's a head scratcher right there. That is a head scratcher right there. So the company said CARB's targets were based on uncertain and unrealistic assumptions, risking harm to drivers if EV and charging availability does not expand as projected by regulators. Several of CARB's 14 board members share concerns over the impact on drivers during Thursday's hearing, criticizing the companies for not doing more to help them. There is no way to make sure that the companies actually bear the costs to address the greenhouse gases and air pollution they're creating and profiting off of, said board member Nate Foote. Look, again, are they going to require all taxi services, all bus lines, every other form of transportation to be EVs? Or are they just choosing these companies, again, because they've already tried other ways to force these companies to, basically try to force them out of business. Anyway, fascinating article. Now, I have a couple companion articles to it. This one from something called Foundation for Economic Education, written by Brad Palomo, actually. California's war on the gig economy continues after past labor regulations nearly prompted Uber to abandon the state until they were essentially undone by voters. Golden State regulators have a new plan of attack to attack ride-sharing services, this time in the name of environmentalism. The California Air Resources Board unanimously voted to mandate that Uber and Lyft rides must almost entirely switch to electric vehicles. So again, they had to give the 2030 number. But, and he continues, make no mistake, this is a drastic switch. Right now, only a tiny fraction of cars on the road are powered by electricity, and electric vehicles, despite enormous government subsidies, continue to be significantly more expensive than the typical vehicle. Yes, these regulators may have noble intentions and earnestly hope to help the environment, but using government force to arbitrarily speed up the ride-sharing industry's transition to electric cars, which they are already planning on doing, will hurt drivers and riders alike. Yeah, oh boy, it's I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I don't know if they just should stick with the energy efficiency vehicles or whatever, but you know what? Sometimes you got to here's the other thing. So, right now, a long range for an electric vehicle is about 250 miles is pretty good for an electric vehicle. I think there's a couple that go up to around 280 miles on one charge. But then when you run out of that charge, it takes a long time to charge one of those vehicles up. We're talking like 30, 40 minutes at minimum on some of them, and worse on others. How? It's just like, you can't. I remember they were trying to take a cross-country trip using an electric vehicle, and it took them 22 days. Now, I could drive probably from the tip of Maine to the, let's say San Diego. I could probably make that drive in 4 days, maybe 5 if you drive 12 hours a day or so, 15 hours a day. 22 hours in an electric vehicle because they had to plan out charging stations all along the way, but just also the time it takes to charge one of those vehicles, it just takes too damn long. One has to carry multiple batteries. Yeah, you could plug your car into your lighter so you can charge the car. No, that doesn't work, does it? Anyway, I just think that's some crazy stuff. And so, can I get a lift, brother? Anyway, good morning. A couple of other people showed up. Good morning, Jedi Ghost Bear, Sean DW, Special Can Acid. Let's see, who else did I miss here? Did I get that? Everybody? I don't know. It's close. Oh, Green Badger Outdoors. Nice to see you, legit low talker. I see you. And there, so the gang's all here. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and throw a buck in the tip jar if you're able, or if you want to write your own commercial for the show, you can do that too. So anyway, the big news, another big item today is the Chinese moon lander, lander on Mars, the Zhurong. Are you right or are you wrong? Zhurong rover returns the first pictures from Mars. A pretty big accomplishment for the Chinese government, who landed a moon, a space vehicle on Mars. China released the first pictures taken by Zhurong rover on Mars. The forward view shows the landscape ahead of the robot as it sits on the landing platform, with the rear-looking image reveals Zhurong's solar panels. The rover touched down on the red planet early on Sunday, Beijing time. In doing so, it made China only the second nation after the United States to successfully put a probe on the surface of Mars and operate it for a significant length of time, which is interesting. They make it sound like it's no longer functioning, and that well could be, for all we know. I don't know. But anyway, Chinese scientists hope to get at least 90 Martian days of service out of the six-wheeled robot at its location on Utopia Planitia, a vast terrain in the planet's northern hemisphere. And so there's pictures of the solar panels on the back end of the lander. China's National Space Administration posted the pictures on its website. There are even a couple short videos that record the moment the rover's aeroshell capsule used it to enter the Martian atmosphere departs the Tianwen 1 orbiter and the satellite that carried the rover from Earth. So this is just showing pictures of where it is and more pictures there. And I'm not sure what's taking this picture, but anyway, it's there. So this one, let's see. Okay. Utopia Planitia is where NASA landed its Viking 2 mission in 1976. And then let's see, there's some evidence pointing to that place having an ocean long ago. Remote sensing with satellites indicate there are significant stores of ice at depth. So the United States put down a much larger 1-ton Perseverance robot in February. Europe, which has twice failed in landing attempts, will send a rover called Rosalind Franklin to Mars next year in a joint project with the Russians. And also, did you know that there's the United Arab Emirates also had a Mars mission? Do I have that here? I think that yeah, here, this is, so the UAE Hope mission returns its first images of Mars. This is from February. The United Arab Emirates Hope mission has returned. Okay, I just said that. The spacecraft entered into orbit around the red planet on Tuesday. That was back in February, making the UAE the first Arab nation in history to have a scientific presence at Earth's nearest neighbor. The first image will be followed by many similar views of Mars. Hope was put in a wide orbit so it could study the planet's weather and climate systems, which means it also will see the planet's full disk. It's a type of view that's fair from Earth-based telescopes, but less so from satellites actually positioned at Mars. So anyway, interesting. Everyone's getting into the space race. So cool stuff, huh? Good morning, Thomas Cleaver. What's happening? Also, Justin Anderson, welcome. And whoever else is lurking, if you're working, driving, or thriving in the background, carry on and hope you enjoy the show. All right, let's keep going. What else do I got here? We got, the other day I was telling you about that article, or about the court order. There was a gentleman who owned a restaurant in Texas, sued the Biden administration because of its PPP funding for small business, or for restaurants, because he said it was discriminating against white men, and a judge agreed. And here's the order. I'm just going to put it here. I'm not going to read it, but it's I have it in the tabs, by the way. Everything I mentioned today, or everything that I have bookmarks for, I will have in a single tab in the description down below. At the end of the show, I'll be adding that. I'll also add it to the Discord server and to the chat during the outro. So there you go. And by the way, as always, I do have my cup of reparations today. Today it's with Brigida's Cafe in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Great place to grab breakfast if you're ever in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And I bought a cup. We met, so my daughter's, I don't know how soon to be fiance, but sometime soon to be fiance. His mother lives in St. Cloud. We went up and visited her and had breakfast with her once, just me, Lady Boomer, and she. So it was a nice day. All right. So now it's going to be in a random order a little bit. I'll have some groupings, but we're just going to get through all this news. And I also got some bookmarks to get through. So apparently, according to Yahoo News, there's a whole lot of news coming out about the stupid 19. And this one, apparently now they're finding out that 3 researchers from China's, can I say this? Well, I'll just say it. Wuhan Institute of Virology sought hospital care in November 2019, a month before China reported the first cases of stupid 19. The Wall Street Journal reported on Sunday, citing a U.S. intelligence report. The newspaper said that previously undisclosed report, which provides fresh details on the number of researchers affected, the timing of their illnesses, and their hospital visits, may add weight to calls for a broader investigation into whether stupid 19 virus could have escaped from the laboratory. Okay, now, do you remember way back when Donald John Trump was the president of the United States, and Donald John Trump was saying that they could possibly be from the lab and not from the wet market, and the news people were all trying to fact check him, and the PolitiFact said, no, that's definitely not it. He didn't say pants on fire, but they just try to say, oh, that's not possible. And all of a sudden now, this is another one of those things where Trump was right. At least that's what they think now. They all want to investigate this now. Isn't that special? So anyway, the journal said current and former officials familiar with intelligence expressed a range of views about the strength of the report's supporting evidence, with one unnamed person saying it needed further investigation and additional corroboration. First cases of what would eventually be known as Stupid 19 were reported at the end of December 2019 in the central Chinese city of Wuhan, where the advanced laboratory specializing in coronavirus research is located. All right. All I got to say about this is duh. The story continues. There's a whole lot more, but you know what? We all told you this. We all knew this way back when. We knew when the bats that supposedly this particular virus is coming from doesn't live anywhere near Wuhan, and we just knew that it was not from the wet market. But I don't know if you're allowed to say that, but I just said it. It's not from the wet markets. Hey, let me take this. Thank you, Gunfox61, for being the first sponsor of the show today. And
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
Thank you again, Gunfox61. It says, Marty, I'm sure the California Chinese masters will build their solar farms with cheap slave labor made solar panels and run with Chinese workers. By Chinese workers. You can just make payments in Chinese digital dollars. Oh yeah, did you see that? So China is kind of coming up with a new, I don't know, it's a cryptocurrency or what. There are they're coming up with their own like digital currency, but think about that. If you are Chinese and you kind of deal in digital currency, and just think of how that allows the government to spy on you even more. Oh my gosh, I don't get it. Anyway, and thank you again, Gonflex61, another deuce in the tip jar, sponsoring the show, who says also, all electric cars must be Chinese made because, California is owned by China. Purge all commies. Better dead than red. Hey! I think the audience likes that. I'm just saying. I got to put in pops. Anyway, good morning, Jen. Hi. Nice to see you. Oh, was that no, Batman? Okay. So anyway, like China needs a third currency. Yeah, really, right? It's just crazy. Anyway, all right, let's keep going here. I have a video in here. There's an interview with a gentleman named Michael Yeadon. He's the former vice president and chief science officer at Pfizer, where he worked 16 years. And it's a video where he outlines his position on the pandemic, the vaccines, the issue of variants, boosters, and the loss of our civil liberties. And it's truly an appeal to the world. So check out that video. I'm not going to play it. It's an hour long, but it's 57 minutes, but it's worth every one of those 57 minutes. So check that out. It'll be in the links down below. Moving on. Let's talk about the anti-Semitic attacks in New York and other places. So this whole thing with the ceasefire now, I should say, between the Palestinians and the Israelis. Well, it's still causing some problems in the United States, particularly in Los Angeles and California. But this soccer player, Luca Robert Lewis, a member of a pro soccer team, the New York Red Bulls, claims that his life was threatened by Palestinian supporters on a visit to New York City on Thursday. Lewis told his social media followers that 6 to 8 Palestinian men brandishing knives approached him, asked if he was Jewish, and then threatened to kill him if he was. The MLS player took to Instagram to tell his tale as a warning to others. Quote, last night I was walking in New York with a friend, and all of a sudden a group of 6 to 8 Palestinian men walked up to me and asked me where I was from. I responded and said, New York. Then one guy asked me if I am Jewish. Lewis said in the post, I paused for a moment in confusion and thought about it. Then I saw them withdrawing knives. I obviously said no. The guy looked at me with such disgust in his eyes and said, good. As I started walking away, I felt extremely angry and I felt like I had to say something, Lewis continued. Lewis then asked the man, what if I was Jewish? The MSL player wrote that one of the attackers got in his face and said, I'll beat the fucking shit out of you and kill you. Huh. This sounds like a lovely fellow. Does he have any proof of this? I don't know. You know, it's a strange story, you know, because you never know if he has proof of it. But we have seen, obviously, we've seen video of all sorts of attacks. And you know, see on Instagram, I usually don't speak out on current political events on my social media, but last night I was extremely angry, and I believe everyone should know about this. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't know about rushing to Instagram instead of rushing to the police station and going, hey, these fuckers, whatever. So anyway, Lewis added that since he is not visibly Jewish, what does that mean? Don't anyone tell me, please. But he worried for the stage people who are obviously Jewish, probably wearing yarmulkes and things like that. Yeah, that's not a good thing that's happening. And also in New York, 2 Jewish boys were beaten after refusing to repeat anti-Jewish sentiments. 2 Jewish teens were allegedly rescued by a rideshare driver after being beaten in Brooklyn on Saturday by pro-Palestinian individuals. The New York Police Department received a report Saturday night that an 18-year-old and 17-year-old were walking near Ocean Parkway in Brooklyn when they were approached by 2 unidentified males, demanded that the victims repeat anti-Jewish statements. The 18-year-old victim's father spoke to the Daily Caller under condition of anonymity and said his son and nephew were told to chant Free Palestine, but refused to do so. The teens who the father said were both wearing yarmulkes refused and were immediately assaulted. According to police, both victims were punched in the head, and the 17-year-old was placed in a chokehold, police said. As the victims attempted to flee, the police said they were chased by an assailant brandishing a baseball bat. The victim's father told the Daily Caller an unidentified rideshare driver saw the incident unfolding and offered the boys a ride. Former Democratic New York State Assemblyman Dawg Knight called the incident a horror story. Yeah, these stories, let's see, they did go, these kids went straight to the police immediately afterward and treated by EMS for non-life-threatening injuries, according to the police. The NYPD's hate crimes task force is investigating the incident. So, so when I look at the soccer player and then I look at these 2 boys, usually instead of going straight to Instagram, wouldn't you go directly to the police? Seems logical. So Avocados Diabli. Sorry, I did not get very much sleep last night, so I might yawn a couple times, but I'm here for you. I'm trooping it out, y'all. Avocados Diabli. You might have something there. All right, let's keep going. What's this one? Oh yeah. Where is Joe Biden on all this though? You know, was quick to get out ahead of the Asian hate thing, and he certainly approves of the Black Lives Matter crowd. But where is he on the anti-Semitic stuff? Low-grade pogroms against Jews are sweeping the U.S. Hamas thugs are unleashing unprovoked violent assaults on Jews innocently going about their business in U.S. cities in New York, Los Angeles, New Mexico, and Florida, with leftists saying, "Don't blame me." Some leftists are repeating, wait a minute. The other thing, too, so you got the squad. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Taliban, and the other one that nobody knows her name. I know it's Ayanna Pressley, but I like saying nobody knows her name. They're all up on this, the Palestinians are being suppressed and stop Israel and this and that. How come their rhetoric isn't considered violent invoking? Huh? Hello? Anybody? Anyway, some leftists are repeating their old trope that they're merely anti-Zionists, not full-blown Jew haters, no different from the Klan or other low-class dirtbags. For appearance sakes, most are paying some kind of lip service to condemning this apparently organized Hamas thuggery appearing suddenly on our shores, even as they continue to claim with their forked tongues that Israel is the problem. Joe Biden, though, is the exception. He hasn't said a damn thing. He still remains AWOL as Jews are hunted down and assaulted in bona fide hate crimes, raising questions, at least in my mind, as to whether Hamas has something on him. He said nothing. His Twitter feed is a wasteland, and his White House site is silent. Silent Joe is the... All right. I had a brain freeze there. My apologies. I had a long night last night. I'm just telling you. Anyway, let's get back into this. I apologize for that. Let's just move on because I'm having a little trouble here. Let's see. Canada's pretty shitty prime minister. Oh, well, that's true. All right. Let's move on because I'm going to try to get through the show today. Next. Oh, did you hear? Ashley Babbitt's family is suing the Capitol Police for the fatal January 6th shooting. Ashley Babbitt's family is suing the U.S. Capitol Police for more than $10 million for shooting and killing her daughter, their daughter, during the January 6th riot at the Capitol. No, I wasn't stroking out. Sorry, Renee. I just feel I'm so tired right now, and I'm going to make sure I get through this show. Anyway, right now we have no accountability, zero accountability. They give no explanation to justifying the shooting, and they do not even identify the officer. That is what they do in autocratic countries, not the United States. Maryland attorney Terrell N. Roberts III told the Washington Times. The 35-year-old Air Force veteran was shot with a round from an anonymous officer's service pistol in the Capitol building after she attempted to climb through a broken glass door in the hallway near the Speaker's lobby. Babbitt received aid in the Capitol from the Capitol Police Emergency Response Team before she was transported to the Washington Hospital Center, where she later died. The family plans to sue law enforcement agency under the Federal Tort Claims Act, which allows for monetary compensation if a personal injury or death caused by the negligent or wrongful act or omission of a government employee while acting within the scope of his or her office or employment under circumstances where the United States, if a private person would be liable in accordance with the law of the place where the act of omission occurred. My God! That's a lot of words for one act there. Anyway, unnamed officer who shot Babbitt but did not receive any charges will also be sued by the family, the Washington Times reported. Interesting. It's going to be interesting if they end up with a wrongful death suit on this. Certainly she was unarmed. Certainly she was, this is a tough one. Okay, y'all, give me an idea on this. Do you think, just knowing the case, let's just make some predictions. They will win their suit and be paid the $10 million. They will win their suit, be paid a much smaller amount of $10 million. They will lose their suit. Those are your three choices. A, win $10 million. B, win very small amount. C, lose. Those are your three choices, A, B, or C. Let's move on. We'll see how that goes in the chat. There's an unseen video. This is one of the founders of Black Lives Matter who was labeling police a terrorist organization and always wanted to fight them. It's Patrice Cullors again. Hello, Cannibalistic Wizard. How you doing? Wait. What's going on here? What's going on in my chat here? Okay, I think everyone's okay. All right, we're cool. All right, this is the one that just got shot. Joe Lopez, how you doing? By the way, I haven't seen that name in the chat before. Well, yes, I have. Maybe I have. I don't know. By the way, if anyone's here who is new, hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you get notifications. All right, let's go back to this. Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Cullors labeled police a terrorist organization in an unearthed video from 2015 where she asserts she always wanted to fight the police. Remarks from a speech at King's College London as part of Ferguson's Solidarity Tour of the United Kingdom. Cullors reveals that her activism is rooted in a lifelong desire to fight the police and conflates the group to a terrorist organization. Quote, Oh, here, let's just play the clip. That'll be better. Let's do that. Here we go. Always lurking. Well, fantastic, Joe. I'm glad you're here, man. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy the show. If you're always lurking, then apparently you do. Let's listen to Patrice Cullors in her own words. Hopefully, it's not too. Yeah, it's only 42 seconds.
I joined organization when I was 17 years old, and I remember the first thing I said to the organization was, "Do you fight police?" That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to fight the police. They were the single most sort of terrorist organization in my life, and I wanted to know how to fight them. I wanted to know how to hold them accountable. So I started doing work when I was 17 years old against the police, and from there, did different sorts of things. Ran campaigns that focused on trying to get them out of high schools. Ran campaigns that focused on decriminalizing young people's lives.
It's fascinating too. Is she's wearing this Palestinian scarf. I don't know. Somebody tell me the name of this. I don't remember what it's called, but whatever. We know that she hates the police. All right, let's keep going. Team Biden is still hyping the phony domestic violent extremism threat. Of course, this is kind of in line with the January 6th commission, and people, it's funny, they keep talking about January 6th, right? And constantly talking about the threat of right-wing terrorist violence and stuff. But if you noticed, since that riot, or if you prefer, selfie insurrection from January 6th, have you heard of any other events or protests or anything else from the type of people who would be part of that particular protest? Have you heard of even one? I mean, because they had the National Guard at the Capitol and the fencing and all this other stuff. And there's a whole lot of other cities around the country where they could, thank you. There's all kinds of places around the country where they could be protesting. And have you seen any of it? Have you seen it's because I'm thinking about how, when the violence after the George Floyd protest happened, and you thought, okay, that's a one-off event, but that's like all the time. Or if you think about the knuckleheads in Portland, right? They're out there burning and breaking and fire and set shit on fire and beating up people and shit all the time, over and over and over. And yet we keep hearing about the insurrection, the selfie insurrection. I don't get it. Anyway, Team Biden keeps hyping basically phony domestic violent extremism threat, with illegal migrants crossing the southern border by the hundreds of thousands, setting new records by the month. The Department of Homeland Security's top priority somehow is domestic violent extremism, and it doesn't even mean Antifa. President Joe Biden's top appointees have called white supremacists the greatest security threat to the country and are pushing for bolstered intelligence gathering. Of course, they're using private companies to spy on you instead, the Associated report last week, noting that DHS plans to ramp up social media tracking as a part of an enhanced focus on domestic violent extremism. You mean anyone who doesn't agree with the woke left, right? It doesn't mean just anyone. Anyway, for which the department has opened a new office in its intelligence branch. All right. Yes, the January 6th Capitol riot was awful, but that collection of crackpots is no serious national security threat, and there'd have to be some signs of more such trouble in the months since. There hasn't been any. Yet Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines published a, quote, threat assessment, end quote, focusing on white extremism. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas has ordered an internal review to address, quote, threats, end quote, within the department's ranks. Domestic violent extremism poses the most lethal and persistent terrorism-related threat to our country today, he declared. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered a 60-day stand down in February to review the ranks of the military for this extremism. You know, I just want a military that can shoot and kill people if need be. If you know what, if Billy Bob, the KKK dude, is defending America with a gun under military auspices, I guess I don't have a problem with that as long as he's a good shot. You know, I don't give a shit. The military is there for one thing. And it's not worried about whether or not somebody is problematic. Although, and especially, I don't care if she has two moms. I'm just saying. It doesn't end. As soon as the CDC relaxed its guidance for the vaccinated, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, announced, quote, violent extremists may seek to exploit the easing of COVID-19 related restrictions across the United States to conduct attacks against a broader range of targets after previous public capacity limits reduced opportunities for lethal attacks. What evidence do you have of that? Who attacks people in the street or in locations? It's not they. Oh my God, these people. Yes, those people. Hello, Kay Shaw, Enza Blay, and Patrice Ripley, and Fight for Your Rights. What's up? Good God. So let's see. Broader range of targets after previous public capacity limits reduced opportunities for lethal attacks, adding that the violent fueled by false narratives are likely to exploit constitutionally protected freedom of speech activity. Oh my gosh. So this is them saying that, oh, that free speech is so dangerous, right? Likely to exploit constitutionally protected freedom of speech activity. Good God. But the main pusher of the false narratives is the Biden administration itself. Yes, the FBI and others should certainly keep an eye on all extremist activity, and you can bet that the feds have infiltrated all known groups. But all facts on the ground suggest the main such threat is on the left, such as Antifa, loons plaguing Portland. Yet here's DHS looking to end run the Constitution and to use third parties, businesses, to surveil right-wing activity it can't legally monitor itself. Oh, they got an army of Karens, army of techno Karens. How's that sound? We don't doubt that Democratic officials across the country get a ton of nasty hate mail and social media abuse, but so do Republicans. Oh, that's the truth. And it's the world we all live in now. By endlessly flogging the menace that plainly doesn't exist on any meaningful scale, the all Team Biden is doing is feeding paranoia and deepening the nation's divisions. Yes, they are. Let's keep going. This one from PJ Media. This is I find this humorous because hi Gabriel Verleen, what's up? The left wanted body cams on cops, right? That was the big push a few years ago. Now they're starting to get body cams on cops, and well, they're not liking what they're seeing in most cases. So the left has been demanding police wear body cameras for years, believing the public would finally see all the wanton acts of violence perpetrated by cops against peaceful, law-abiding members of society. And then they saw the truth, right? The New York Attorney General, Letitia James, has wanted body cams since the death of Eric Garner back in 2014 when she was a public advocate of New York. She even suggested body cameras were a good idea for cops and would save the city of New York money. If we were to do so, to implement body cameras on 15% of our police force in New York City, it would only cost the taxpayers $5 million. Currently, we are paying about $152 million annually in claims to individuals who are charging police officers with police misconduct, she said at a press conference in her office. A year later, after the death of Walter Scott in South Carolina, she told us why she really wanted police to wear body cams. Quote, The video from South Carolina released last night demonstrates the crucial importance of body cameras for police encounters. Had a concerned citizen not taken the initiative to record the shooting, this tragedy and injustice would have gone unknown, Ms. James says in a statement in The Observer. Incidents of recorded police brutality are reaching a critical mass nationwide. Wrong. And they underscore the urgent need for police reform, transparency, and accountability measures, including body cameras and improved police community relations, and innovative technology in police departments. We must expand the use of body cameras in New York City and in police departments across the nation. So in other words, she wants them so that they will get the police in trouble, right? And Mayor Bill de Blasio chased federal funding for police body cams in 2014, when then President Obama offered $263 million for police body cams. In 2015, de Blasio at Al Sharpton's National Action Network convention said, a few years ago, body cameras were considered something out of reach, but now they're becoming the norm in more and more police departments around the country. That's because people demanded change, and technology gave us a chance to create a kind of transparency and accountability we had never known before. We've seen these painful moments captured on individual citizens' cell phones, cameras. We are going to move more and more to a society where the cameras on police officers for the good of all, so the truth comes out. But the truth can be painful. Real quick, thank you, Gamer Valine, with the $4.99, who says, has anyone noticed that Karens tend to be women that vote left? Oh, for the most part. Yes, they are. And thank you, Gamer Valine, for sponsoring the show today. But anyway, the truth can be painful, especially when the reality doesn't jibe with the left-wing narrative. USA Today moaned that, quote, body cams haven't lived up to promises of exposing police misconduct. Maybe it's because there's not as much police misconduct as you wish there was. See, I'm convinced, yes, there is police misconduct, but I'm convinced that when you have over 10 million police encounters, or is it 10 million or 100 million? There's a lot of police encounters every year. And 99.99% of them are just mundane and or not, not problematic. But every single one that is bad makes it on the Twitter and on TV and on everything. So, and they're very selective at the ones they choose to put on TV. Anyway, look, body cams haven't lived up to promises of exposing policeman conduct. This is the USA Today, largely because cops decide what will and will not be shown to the public. They whine that police videos of hero cops get released as soon as possible, but videos involving police shootings can take years before anyone sees them. Odd, considering we all saw the body cam videos involving the shootings of Dante Wright and Adam Toledo, both within days of the incident. The truth is simple. Most cops aren't beating minorities for fun. How do we know? The Washington, D.C. Metro Police Department conducted an exhaustive study on body cams and police brutality and found, quote, our experiment suggests that we should recalibrate our expectations of BWCs, body-worn cameras. Law enforcement agencies, particularly in context similar to Washington, D.C., that are considering adopting BWCs should not expect dramatic reductions in documented use of force or complaints or other large-scale shifts in police behavior solely from the department deployment of this technology. It also has shown another inconvenient truth, ACAB. All cops aren't bastards. Leftists are actually disappointed that body cameras show police officers not oppressing people of color. What we have seen is heroic police work while officers deal with horrific criminal behavior. Police reality shows have long shown the truth and have paid the price. A&E canceled their highly rated live PD, which followed cops on patrol from 9 p.m. to midnight after they filmed a black man resisting arrest, getting tasered 4 times and dying. Cops and body cam were also suspended for showing the truth of criminal behavior. Yeah, you watch those shows, you see what police actually go through, and you're like, oh, yeah, I wouldn't want that job. So, and crime shows like Cop have huge influence over the way the public thinks about criminal justice, and by misrepresenting the system, these shows turn people against overdue reform efforts. The civil rights advocacy group Color Change tweeted after the cancellation announcement. And they make a good point here. Maybe the criminals are in need of a little overdue reform. Huh? Anyway. All right, let's see. The Black Hammers. Y'all, okay, we've been talking about, well, I don't know if we've talked about them. I was talking about this with, who was I talking about this with? Anyway, remember Ghazi Kodzo? Ghazi? The Black Hammers. The deranged racism of the Black Hammers, America's premier anti-colonial revolutionaries. He's got his stupid little group up there in Colorado. Black Hammer, a small anti-colonial communist organization based largely in Chicago, blends on offbeat Marxist ideology with explicit racial hatred, despite their limited numbers, recurring Facebook bans, and general disconnection with the rest of the hard left. Their commitment to creating a colonized people's paradise in the Rockies appears unshaken. Yeah, these are the morons who have claimed some land high up in the Rockies. I think it might even be above the tree line there. These dumbasses. Good morning, James Colley. How you doing, my brother? All right. So anyway, although they're not taken seriously by other activist groups on the left, they take themselves seriously. It's unclear whether that self-belief will be enough to sustain them in their latest project. Hammer City, which was announced to widespread mockery on Twitter, will be situated in an undisclosed 200-acre plot in Colorado. The compound will last thousands of years, say the Black Hammers. After 600 years of struggle against colonial, he kind of sounds like a high-pitched Maxine Waters. After 600 years in an unclosed 200-acre plot in Colorado, the compound will last thousands of years, say the Black Hammers. Wait a minute. Did I do that wrong? I said that wrong. After 600 years of struggle against colonialism, genocide, torture, and ecocide, the land is in the hands of the colonized working class. In fact, I'll put up that Twitter link right here. It's probably. I think this is the video of them. Oh, there they are. See, they're up there in they're way up there in almost in the tree line. They're all gonna die. Anyway, surprisingly, the Hammers agreed to an interview with the Washington Free Beacon in a Zoom call. What? Commander-in-Chief Ghazi and Secretary General Anko appear in a small room flanked by 5 bodyguard Hammers in matching masks. Ghazi and Anko don't wear masks. Ghazi likes to appear on Facebook live rallies with at least 2 bodyguards looming in the back. His bodyguards are like skinny little twerps too, looming in the background, but it's unclear why they're on our private video call. Ghazi refuses to introduce them, and they maintain their silent stance throughout the call. Yes, they look so formidable, especially, well, I don't know. I did not know there was, well, no, they don't have the video here. Anyway, you can read, you got to read about the Black Davidians. No, more like, who are the ones that were in Guyana with David Koresh? Who was that? What were they called? That's who I'm thinking they're going to be more like, but they're all going to die because they're so high in the mountains. Yeah, bodyguards on a Zoom call. Oh, the police ran them off because the land sale did not go through. Oh, I did not know that. So here, let me just give you a sample of this because this is so funny. Ghazi can't decide whether to butter me up or call me a cracker. After his political director confirms the Free Beacon's readership tends to be right-leaning, Ghazi opens our call with a 10-minute denunciation of the recent rigged election. Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and so on. But then I ask about the planned commune, and Ghazi gets upset. Hammer City was conceptualized by the poor, colonialized working classes. That's Anko. And the United States of America, spelled with 3 Ks, is collapsing, they say, and the time is ripe for a colonized dictatorship over the land. And this is their vision of Hammer City, apparently. The land appears to be mountainous, rather rocky scrubland, and outside observers have raised questions about livability. But the Hammers are convinced they will be able to farm enough food and graze sizable herds to feed the commune on the 1 acre. The rest, they say, will be preserved for nature. White people are stupid, says Ghazi when I put these doubts to him. Colonialized people can live anywhere on Earth, sweetie. Okay, you just got you got to read the rest yourself. It'll be in the links. And this is the BH Time, the Black Hammer Times. It says, thank you to all. Thanks to all of you, Black Hammer successfully liberated 200 acres of land to build our city for colonized people only. We're located high up in the mountains, 10,000 feet in the air with rich soil, which you probably can't grow anything in. And we have one lake and 3 rivers on the land. So apparently you're saying they got kicked off the land? If they're 10,000 feet, a lot of those people get altitude sickness, I would think. I don't know. And have you ever been skiing up in there? It takes some getting used to the altitude and stuff. Anyway, let's see. Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, Gretchen Whitmer. This is kind of a little bit of coronavirus news. You know what I mean? So she has already violated her own coronavirus orders at a dive bar. See her right there. Why does she always look like she needs some powder or something? She is always shining. I mean, and again, the reflections, I'm not going to talk about what the reflections look like. I've said it enough times. Glory hole. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer hit the bar this weekend and violated her own coronavirus orders, according to a photo Breitbart News has exclusively obtained. Whitmer and a large group of friends, including her appointed Chief Operations Officer, Tricia Foster, visited the Land Shark in East Lansing, violating her restaurant orders on the process, according to a photo one of the attendees posted on Facebook. The photo posted Saturday was part of a montage shortly after Whitmer's friend deleted the collage and reposted it, sans the governor and one of her top aides. So they tried to hide the evidence. Yeah, she's out there at the bar drinking with her friends. It's fine. You know what? Here's the thing. I don't care if she's out drinking with her friends, but you know what? If she makes a rule that you can't do something, then goes and does it anyway. The group shot of 13 individuals appeared to violate the governor's restaurant capacity orders issued May 15th on gathering limitations for entertainment establishments, recreational establishments, and food service establishments. Gatherings are prohibited at food service establishments, whether indoor or outdoors, unless consumption of food and beverages is permitted only in designated dining area where patrons are seated. Group of patrons are separated by at least 6 feet. No more than 6 patrons are seated together at table, booth, or group of fixed seats, and group of patrons do not intermingle. Heil Whitler. While Whitmer's group did not wear masks, a bouncer at the Land Shark, a dive bar in the college town, could be seen with his face covered. So the bartender or the bouncer was following the rules. Oh my gosh. Rules. Okay, no more rules for thee. Rules for me. Rules for thee, not for me. Something like that. She's disgusting. I'm telling you. She just I remember they had the travel restrictions. They wouldn't let people travel from their own home to their own cabin, and then her husband was up at the cabin raking leaves, and then she changed the rule for that. Governor Cuomo, another governor in more hot water. Governor Cuomo's got a little heated when he asked whether he profited off the backs of dead New Yorkers. See, here's what happened. You know that book he wrote that he got a $5 million advance for? The book that he wrote talking about his great leadership during the stupid 19 pandemic. Well, when people found out that, he kind of let some old people die in nursing homes, the book sales tanked after that. But he kept the $5 million. Book he wrote while he's still in office. Got a big book deal while he's still in office. Rules for me, not for thee. Yeah, or something like that. Rules for thee, not for me. Okay. Yeah, I can't get that phrase right. While he was in office, he writes a book and makes a $5 million advance. Anyway, the New York Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo has a famously short fuse. The governor has been mired in a sexual misconduct scandal, along with a probe on how he handled the nursing homes during the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, is now in another swirling storm. Cuomo reportedly cashed in on the COVID-19 virus, pocketing $5.12 million for his memoir on the pandemic. Cuomo's America Crisis: Leadership Lessons from the COVID-19 Pandemic was published in mid-October as the pandemic still raged on in a state with one of the worst per capita results in the country, second only to New Jersey. Cuomo's contract, which he got despite his administration being accused of sending stupid 19 positive patients back into nursing homes, potentially spread the deadly virus among the vulnerable elderly there, paid him $3.12 million last year, and he was left with a little more than $3 million after editing expenses, according to his tax returns, the Washington Post reported. So he used $120,000. Okay, for editing, I can see that. He also set to receive another $2 million this year, and next, the returns show. So I wish they had. Do they have video of this? Well, anyway, of course, the New York press corps asked Cuomo about his book deal, something he wasn't fond of. During a wet Thursday press conference in Buffalo, a reporter asked Cuomo to respond to the, quote, allegations out there that you made money on the backs of dead people. Wait a minute. There's got to be video. Let's check out Spectrum News here. Let's check out Spectrum News. Do they have... Oh, they don't have video either. So anyway, I'll leave both articles up. He said, that's stupid, the governor said. Next question. Cuomo later tried to pull back the insult a bit, telling the reporter, I thought your question was stupid and offensive. Well, so is you making $5.12 million off a book on COVID leadership when you killed a bunch of grandmas, governor. All right, let's keep going. In Georgia, federal judge unseals more than 145,000 absentee ballots for the 2020 election fraud investigation. You can read. This is one of those I'm not even going to get into, other than that they unsealed all these ballots, right? They allowed the audit of 146 or 145,000 ballots in, I want to say, which county was it? Fulton County, Georgia. And his rationale, Georgia voters deserve to have confidence that their voice and their vote is heard. That's from Kelly Loeffler, who said that. But the Democrats are just fuming and just pulling their hair out and screaming and whining and stomping and pounding the floor as they lay down and throw a toddler temper tantrum about all these states that are starting to audit some of these ballots. That's why we keep all voting records for 22 months so that groups are able to go back and look at them and maybe give them a little scrutiny. And that's what it's for. So you know what, Democrats who are just crying and whining about this, hey, you said it was a perfect election, and if it was, then you have nothing to worry about. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Good. Check them out and find out if there's any shenanigans. Why did I open this? And same thing in New Hampshire. Election audit in New Hampshire confirms the unreliability of machine tabulators. Auditors today completed a hand count of the votes in the town of Windham, New Hampshire, and concluded that the count proves machine tabulators are unreliable and do not produce trustworthy totals. Hand recount finished, and numbers very closely match the hand count numbers done on November 12th. Windham voting machine election results are confirmed to be unreliable. According, the auditors are still investigating causes and contributing factors. None of the local results have changed because of these new results, but the audit was done because a hand recount done in November showed serious discrepancies, with the hand count consistently finding more votes for Republicans compared to what the tabulation machines gave them. Now, there have been a couple places where they've done this, and in this particular county, what they're figuring out is that the voting machines would not tabulate the Republican votes. I wonder. And then they did a hand count and found out, oh, okay, here we go. They're not the same. And so they counted them by hand and figured out the machines weren't, like I said, were not reliable. Just saying. So interesting that you got 140,000 ballots at Fulton County, Georgia being examined. You got the one in Arizona, which they're screaming and yelling about. And you know what? I don't think they're finding anything significantly different there. They got the one in New Hampshire now where they're doing another election, or they did an election audit. And someday, who knows? Anyway, good morning, Mike Savage Blarg. I know it's late in the afternoon for you, or late afternoon where you are. All right, let's see here. We've got the whistleblower. Remember Rebecca Jones, the Florida whistleblower, who claimed that the governor's office told her to cook the books on COVID-19 numbers. Well, she's kind of retracted everything. Rebecca Jones, the Florida COVID-19 whistleblower who wasn't, conceded Thursday that her entire operation to frame health officials with manipulating pandemic data was a hoax when she admitted she was never asked to delete deaths in the database. Deleting deaths was never something I was asked to do, Jones wrote in a since-deleted post captured and published by National Review's Charles C. W. Cook. I never claimed it was. Au contraire, Ramon Frere. You absolutely said you were asked to change the numbers. Now, as outlined by Cook, who chronicled her lucrative scam here, I'll put that article up there too, so you can see the comparison. She did claim health officials told her to delete pandemic data quite a few times. A supposed bombshell revelation aided to tank the credibility of the state's triumphant performance under its Republican governor, Ron DeSantis. Here's a deleted post published by National Review where Jones accused Florida Deputy Secretary and Health Dr. Shamarile Roberson of instructing Jones to delete cases and deaths. The entire premise of the whistleblower story. Here it is. There it is. The woman who told me to delete cases and deaths is now blaming doctors for the death backlog. She's the most corrupt, lying, incompetent, and ignorant person that could ever be put in charge. Demand Roberson resign now. Interesting, because up here she says, deleting deaths was never something I said I was asked to do. I never claimed it was, or what? No, oh my gosh. Anyway, so she's a lying hoe. Did I just call her a hoe? I believe I did. And I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Never mind. And then there's there's a National Review story too. There's two. So one's from the two stories on that, and you can check that out later. All right, let's see here. This is interesting because I'm not a fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she's a little bit of a crank, although she says some of the right things, but I still think she's a little bit of a crank. And then you have Representative Pat Getz, who seems to be having his own troubles right now regarding some of his extracurricular activities. And yet, they got 3,000 America First activists flocked to the Delta by Marriott Mesa on Friday afternoon to witness a second stop on the national rally tour featuring the congressional gadflies Matt Getz and Marjorie Taylor Greene. So that's the National Pulse speaking, not me. Following on from the success of their inaugural event at the Villages, the pair took their show to battleground of Arizona. of the Arizona election audit, Maricopa County. I'm really having trouble today. We'll get there. The pair had plenty to say on the matter, diving into detail on election integrity and open border migration, both causing ruination in the Copper State. But in reality, despite barnstorming warm-up acts from local Congressman Paul Gosar and Andy Biggs, it was the crowd that was the story. Ranging from younger, more energized activists through to MAGA stalwarts in retirement, the Arizona rally marks an extraordinary movement for the America First movement, a movement where it's not just President Donald Trump who can draw such crowds and snake overflow crowds several times over around the venue. Over 150,000 people watched on various streams online. It's not to say that Messrs. Getz and Green and Gosar nor Biggs would seek to replace Trump on the national stage. They all acknowledge, much to Liz Cheney's chagrin, Trump's position as leader of the movement. Getz bellowed at one point, "This is Donald Trump's party, and I am a Donald Trump Republican." But it is gratifying to note the ability of the message to draw thousands of audience members, despite the best attempts of fraudsters to oversubscribe RSVP lists. The Mesa rally saw a whopping 115,000 RSVPs. That is funny. Most of which were classified as fraudulent activity prompted by the Lincoln Project Group, an organization founded by a known pedophile. This is a National Post article, I see. Anyway, hello, ex-Bubba Hotep. A concerted campaign has been aimed at national populist politicians to attempt to humiliate them and their event organizers, which failed at a recent Nigel Farage rally, and failed again in Arizona this weekend. So anyway, they're drawing crowds. I don't know that they will. Excuse me. I don't know if those are the two that I necessarily want out barnstorming, though. I don't know. Especially because Getz, the guy that got in trouble with Getz, pled guilty, and I think he's out there probably a bargain to name names and name what Getz did, because that would be a great scalp for the Department of Justice, because they just want to go after Republicans anyway, and Matt Getz is a meaty target for them. All right, Trump's been sued, by the way, by a civil rights group, and you're not going to believe why. It appears that for the foreseeable future, Donald Trump is going to be spending a lot of time in courtrooms. A couple of New York prosecutors are going over his life and business interests with a microscope, hoping to make a name for themselves by charging the former president with a crime. But Trump will also have to fend off at least 29 lawsuits filed against him for a variety of alleged misdeeds relating to his business and related recently the 2020 election. But none of them are as silly as this one. The Chinese American Civil Rights Coalition is suing the former president for referring to COVID-19 as China flu. The reason? The group is saying that Trump caused Chinese Americans to suffer emotional distress and were injured by Trump's extreme and outrageous conduct during the pandemic. Trump demonstrated reckless disregard for his conduct during the pandemic, the suit says. Jason Miller, senior advisor for Trump, told The Hill in a statement, quote, "This is insane and an insane and idiotic lawsuit that is specious at best, and it will be dismissed if it ever sees a courtroom." I would not be shocked if this one was dismissed unless, well, hang on. It really depends on the judge, because I'm sure there's enough judges out there that are just like, hey, maybe I can get old Trumpy in trouble and get him some fines and contribute to the downfall of the Don. Maybe. Hello, Jaded Emerald. Yes, I agree. Oh, for fuck's sake, with these people. I got to tell you, I agree. All right. We've got a few more left here. They're trying to recall Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon in California. It's not just the governor. We've been following the antics of Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon, who won his George Soros-backed election in 2020. At the end of January, Legal Insurrection reported that ultra-progressive Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon's reforms were putting the region's criminal justice system in a free fall. For example, Gascon forced his prosecutors to read statements in court impugning the state's 3 strikes law and ending specific penalties. The situation was so bad that the Association of Deputy District Attorneys for Los Angeles County argued in a lawsuit that deputy district attorneys cannot follow the directives without violating the state penal code. The judge subsequently blocked Gascon's effort to impose his reform and directives. So now in Los Angeles, citizens began organizing to oust him. This week, the ouster has moved a little closer to reality than Los Angeles County Registrar, as the Los Angeles County Registrar approved the petition to recall Gascon. So good. They need to get rid of him. They need an actual person who wants to follow the law and not just try to create, kind of a social justice a social justice law system. All right, we're gonna move on. But before that, thank you, ex Bubba Hotep, for the bullet, 357 this time. So they're also suing all the news for when they said this before it was bad, or sorry, Orange Man, bad. I always forget. Okay, wait a minute. So they are also suing all the news for when they said this before it was bad. Oh, with the Wuhan coronavirus, right? Yes. They're suing everybody. They're suing Dr. Fauci, who said the Chinese virus, and they're suing Don Lemon, who said the Wuhan coronavirus, and all those other anchors on MSNBC and CNN and ABC and NBC and everywhere else that they said those words. Yes, exactly. Ex-Bubba Hotep. All right, a couple more left, and we're almost done. Apparently, red state attorney generals are going to cut ties with a certain left-wing law firm. Push comes after Montana ends a relationship with him. Montana this month ended its relationship with a law firm that has deep ties to the Democratic Party, a victory for conservative legal figures pushing other red states to stop doing business with the firm. The firm, Motley Rice LLC, has a healthy portfolio of red state clients, even though its partners have long histories of work for left-wing causes and have given millions of dollars to Democratic politicians. Conservative legal leaders are pushing other Republicans to follow Montana Attorney General Austin Knutson's lead and stop doing business with the stalwart Democratic outfit. This seems like a small story, but this particular law firm has done business with several states, and especially in red states, and they're quite the well, they give a lot of money to Democrats, let's put it that way. So anyway, not a huge story that you know about, but it's interesting. Senator Rand Paul doesn't plan to get a COVID-19 stab and blasts Big Brother mandates. I wonder why he's not going to get. Oh, wait a minute. He's had the stupid 19. And it just didn't seem like a priority for people who have had the stupid 19. Anyway, Rand Paul said he does not plan to receive a COVID-19